if you're in technical sales, industrial marketing, there are millions of tools for you to use to increase your productivity, organize your data, and make your lives easier. And on this episode, I'm going to be covering the ones that I found to be the most effective and useful.
Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it. Quitting was never an option. Exhausted. This passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it. Nah, you cannot stop it. Quitting was never an option. And you cannot stop it. Nah, you cannot stop it.
Data mining, man. Everybody's got the data. We get a lot of questions, people commenting in and being like, somebody wants me to buy a list from them. I've got this data broker, things like that. One person even called out one specific company that claims to be hosting and providing the best data, which is D&B Hoovers. I straight up said they suck because I'm keeping it real with you guys. Data mining, you can get lost. Greta, our business development manager, just had a call today with a prospect that we're trying to close, and he was talking about purchasing lists. And I was like, nope, do not purchase any lists. At the end of the day, the cleanest data is going to be coming from the source. And what some of you may understand, some of you may not understand, is that the data that the sources get, then they sell it, even though sometimes they're not supposed to. They sell it and farm out that data to other places to then resell it and resell it and resell it. And before you know it, it's been multiple years since that original list was generated. So the data is not clean. The one that I will stand behind, we are not a partner. This is not affiliate or anything like that, although we should be. And it's something that we might look into, is Zoominfo. I literally last Friday renewed our contract with Zoominfo. Their data is the cleanest and it's the most accurate and it's the easiest system to use. Now, going back years ago, some of you may know this, some of you Salesforce users, Salesforce has their own data system, right? Salesforce bought data.com probably like, I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And they basically migrated that data in and said, here's our clean data. Here's a system you can use to get the data, look through it cleanly, and get to where you want to go. But that data was outdated. It was not clean. I'm sure it's not any better. So I would say, bar none, the best data mining source is Zoominfo. The reason why is not only is their data clean, you get over 90% accuracy rate with the information, whether somebody left 6 months ago, they're constantly going through that data and cleaning it up. But the best part of it is that you don't need somebody else to build a system for you. It's kind of like Salesforce's, at least a couple of years ago, last time I looked at Salesforce's data system, where you can search companies, people within those companies, SIC codes, NICS codes, or NIACS codes. All that information you can search. But then the cool thing about it, and this is what sold me 6 years ago, is you can search based on phrases, because their system goes out, looks at the first page of a company's website, scans that data, puts it into a database. So when you search it on a keyword search and have a query, then you can pull up companies that you don't know their NICS code, you don't know their SIC code, anything like that. You're just searching based on phrases. I actually built my company originally off of using that feature by building lists, because I could not afford to purchase a license with them at thousands of dollars a year. I had no money to invest into that. So I purchased access to their system, which was $1,000 a year. And I could go into their system and mine the data myself. And I was just basically using their keyword searches to then pull up injection molding companies, machine shops, robotics integrators, all that stuff, copy and paste that into a spreadsheet. And then I started building my list out of prospects from there. Zoominfo is the best. We won't spend a ton more time on it, but if you guys have a system out there that you think is better, throw it up there and challenge it, and I will give you my 2 cents. Next one's going to be CRM and sales pipeline. Good God, there's a ridiculous, insane amount of CRM systems out there. I can't keep up with them because new stuff's coming up every day. Ones that were not so popular 3, 4, 5 years ago are coming up as like, this is the new greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't care if it's Zoho, Pipeline, Pipedrive, HubSpot, Salesforce, Pardot, and Marketo and all that stuff, or if it's things like Infusionsoft, whoever they got bought out and sold to, or SharpSpring. Like, I've literally touched everyone. The agency, MFG Tribe, we've used probably, I would say 12 to 20 in the last 5 years, different systems. Okay. On our client side, we've got brought into every single system that's out there, stuff that I've never heard of. And they're like, yeah, this is what we're using. Does not matter. My 2 cents, my take on it is I used to not like HubSpot because I felt like HubSpot, people that use HubSpot were just like obsessed with HubSpot. It's kind of like CrossFit, right? At least years ago, like people that got into CrossFit years ago, for those of you that are into lifting and things like that, they got into it and that's all that they talked about was CrossFit, CrossFit, CrossFit. I feel like that's how it was with HubSpot years ago. And I was like, no, HubSpot sucks. It's too expensive, all these things. Since then, my mind has been changed. And since we started using them a couple of years ago, very strategically, I think HubSpot has the best overall CRM system. Okay. Because you can get into it and control your costs. You're not purchasing stuff that you don't have to. Now, if you are sitting there like, dude, we use HubSpot, we were spending $900 a month. They closed us at $15,000 a year and onboarding fees and all that stuff, and it sucked. Most of the time, you guys aren't using it correctly. Our HubSpot license, we're not paying for Marketing Professional. We're paying for Marketing Starter with add-ons and with upgrades and with contacts and things like that. Our clients that have Marketing Professional, it's too much bang for the buck for you guys to use. Industrial companies don't typically need that. Now, if you have a robust email marketing program or you have an agency like ours at MFG Tribe that's doing it for you and you can afford to do it, then yes, there are tons of pros to HubSpot Marketing Professional. But I would stand it up against everybody out there that, unless somebody tells me somebody's better, that we should look at, I think HubSpot is the best for you to easily get into. You can track all of your analytics data. You can put the plugin on your website, or you can code it into it to integrate everything over. You can look at your analytics. I would not trust their analytics 100% for web traffic, visits, time on site, all that stuff. I would always go back to the source at Google with that. But everything integrates very easily and nicely. You can add meetings to it. People can book time with you. You can add a live chat. Like, all that's built into one system. You don't have to have multiple systems. Now, years ago, I used to have Zapier to be able to integrate with everything, because not everything was integrated with the systems that we were using. So then somebody would fill out a form, and then Zapier would have a zap, and it would take that information, throw it into SharpSpring, Infusionsoft, whatever it was. And then that's how it communicated. It was not one-to-one integration. I think that HubSpot is the best CRM out there. I think if anybody's considering it, definitely do not let the HubSpot people push you down one direction saying you need all these bells and whistles, because most likely you're not going to need it. From a sales pipeline management standpoint, we use HubSpot. I think HubSpot's got a great sales pipeline management program. But the issue with it is, like, if you're an industrial or manufacturing company, you have an ERP system. So when I was in plastics, we used IQMS. That did everything for our job shop floor. It managed all of our work orders and things like that. So we did all of our quoting in it. Their CRM system sucked. Their sales pipeline management aspect of it sucked. It's just very rudimentary and it's very basic. It's not super robust. And so a lot of times you guys can't use pipeline management systems outside of that. I completely agree with that, and I completely get it. But if you're working for a company where you don't need to be tied to an ERP system, and you can at least take the dollar amount of the deal, of the potential deal, and throw it into a pipeline to be able to track and monitor it and look at the different stages, whether you're in a quoting stage, quote sent, closing stage, one loss, you need all that data in a system. At the end of the day, you could have the best CRM system. If you don't use it, if you don't update it, and your data is garbage, then it doesn't even matter. So you have to first make the commitment that we are going to use this. We're going to invest company dollars into putting the system in place, and then we are actually going to use it. Try it out for 6 months. If you use it every single day, I guarantee having a pipeline tracking system in place will help your sales team out, and also help managers and owners out to be able to look at it 30,000 foot level. What's going on in my business? What's going on in the quoting? Is there trends that I can see? Is there somebody that's not performing? I think that it's best to just keep that in the same system with HubSpot. It's easy, it's simple, it's cheap. Now, you can have all these bells and whistles of all these other CRM systems and have a second one. I think it's best to have them married together. So my take on it is, out of all the systems I've used, out of all the systems with clients that I've used, I think HubSpot is the best to handle both of those things. Now, if you are, I'll give you a little bit of a nugget of a secret. If you are doing proposals and you're not sending them directly from your ERP system, a cloud-based proposal system is awesome. We use Proposify for it. We're able to build out proposals very quickly, pull in stuff from other proposals, create libraries, content libraries, databases, things like that, to where we can do proposals quickly. It sends out the email to them, and then we can even see, once they open the email, once they've opened the proposal, you can go through and see how much time did each person spend on different sections of that proposal. So you can see, did they take 2 seconds to look at this, or did they spend 20 minutes? And where do they stop at? What page were they looking at the most? How many hits did they have to the email? How many times did they open the proposal? Did they download the PDF of the proposal? All that stuff tracked through Proposify. So if you can use a cloud-based system, I think for the dollars, Proposify is the best out there. And we've been using them for probably, I think, 4 years or so. So going on to the next point, social media. What social media system is the best? Well, for those of you on LinkedIn, you know that I love LinkedIn, and I think it's the best system out there for industrial manufacturing companies. Anybody that mentions Twitter does not know what the hell's going on. Twitter is a complete waste of time. There's nothing good that happens from Twitter. Even saying, let's take our post that we're going to do on LinkedIn and send it out to Twitter. For what? Nobody retweets it. Nobody likes it. Nobody shares it, or however their system works. Twitter is dead to everybody in B2B. It does not work. Stop using it. Whenever we talk to companies and they're like, yeah, we also post to Twitter, we know right off the gate that they're not up with the latest stuff. So then we share our information with them and say, there's no good thing that comes from it. Facebook and Instagram, if you're a machine shop, if you make cool parts, can you post those on Facebook and Instagram? Absolutely. Can you post all the cool pictures of the things that you make on Instagram? Can you build a following? Can you get more attention? Yes. The issue with it, though, is you cannot target and strategically go after people based on their job title, job function, company they work for on Facebook and Instagram. Now, you can do retargeting campaigns. You can put the pixel on your website, and you can spend attention and time on that area, but you can't strategically target it because most people don't update their job position on Facebook or update their profile on Instagram, and they're using it for personal use. So the only platform that you should be paying attention to from a business standpoint, business development standpoint, sales guys, marketing people pushing content out there is on LinkedIn. It goes without saying, hands down, the best system out there. We'll move on to the next point. Next thing is going to be SEO research. What does SEO mean? Search engine optimization. There are 3 main players in SEO. The first one is going to be SEMrush, SEMrush. The next one's going to be Moz. The next one's going to be Ahrefs. Now, all 3 of them are great. What do we think is the best one? I think that SEMrush is the best one. We have a very significant monthly license that we spend every single month on our partner program with SEMrush. Now, I don't mean partner like affiliates. I mean, we are at that level as an agency where we have to have so much information, so much data to be able to run through SEMrush that we are at that business partner level. Now, the cool thing about SEMrush is you can track and look at any single website you want to. It could be your website. It could be your competitor's website. There's a lot of information that you can see before even somebody giving you access into their analytics. I can see any website's organic search report. I can see how many hits they're getting to their website, how much traffic they're getting to the website from an organic search in the United States or any specific country. I can look at whatever keywords are in their full keyword list, how much percentage of their organic traffic is coming from that keyword. What's their position? What was their position a week ago? What is their ranked position at today? It updates every 16 hours or so if you're tracking it. It updates roughly every 20 days, 15 to 20 days or so if you're not tracking it in a project. But I can see all that information. So anybody new that we talk to and we have a discovery call with them, we want to understand what is the current state, what is the baseline. We use SEMrush to run reports, look at their website, audit, all that stuff we can do without their permission, so to speak, because it's public information through the algorithm that SEMrush has and pulling data from Google. They're able to see all that information. So you can track competitors' positions. You can track your positions. You can track potential customers' positions, depending on what it is that you do. You can see all that information in SEMrush. And what we use it for is we build out all of our reports are through it, all of our position tracking. Our position tracking updates every 16 hours. So our clients that we're tracking 100 keywords for them, we see every 16 hours what is their new position. And we're watching like a hawk so we can understand changes that happen. We look at all of the signals from Google algorithm updates. SEMrush is the best. Moz is good. Ahrefs is good. There's others out there. Those are really the 3 best and the 3 biggest. And so if you're questioning about SEO, want to understand, how is my company's SEO? If you're a marketer or if you own a company, how is my SEO? you can sign up for, I believe, a free trial of SEMrush and be able to do at least minimal searching to be able to look up things. And you can also do all your keyword searches. You can see how many people a month are searching for this keyword in the United States, in Canada, in the world, in a specific country. All that information is in SEMrush, and it is by far the best tool and one of the most relied on tools that we use for SEO knowledge. Now, if you're looking to understand more about SEO, Moz has the best academy for that. Moz teaches and produces the most content around SEO for you to learn and understand what's going on, what helps, what works, what doesn't. They have the best integration for that and the best platform for it. But as far as using the tool, I think SEMrush takes the cake for that. So website analytics, there are third-party website analytics systems. I have used, good God, probably 6 to 10 over the last 6 years because I'm looking for fancy reports and I'm looking to make it look nice because the stuff you get out of Google is just weird and it's not organized nicely. And so I've looked, we've used them. We've used tons of third-party systems. If I really want to know at the end of the day, what is this company's website traffic looking like? How do people get there? I go always to the source with Google, and we use Google Analytics for that. Now, with SEMrush, when we're meeting with our clients on a monthly basis to review all this data, SEMrush pulls information from Google, from the analytics, and then we organize a report. We have a template where we organize a report to look at the information that we think is most important. And so we pull it into SEMrush to do the reporting, but if there's any other question when we're looking at understanding the report, if we see something that looks weird, we go straight back to Google. I don't think that a third-party tool is going to be as robust as Google ever. I know that there's other tools out there where we've had a couple companies that are like, yeah, we don't use Google Analytics. The agency that we were with before used this other tool. It's kind of like Google Analytics. It tracks all the same information. Kind of like is not the same. And I always say, you better get a Google Analytics code on that website because we need data. We need to be able to track baselines. We need to look at historical stuff. We need to look at everything moving forward. Google Analytics is the best for that, but we've tied that into SEMrush from a reporting standpoint. But if we have any questions, we always go to it. What do I feel like are the most important things to look at? Bounce rate is good because it gets an understanding if the traffic comes in, where do they leave? What type of bounce rate should you have? You should have anywhere between 40 and maybe 65% on the high end, but it depends on what you're doing. If you're sending a ton of paid traffic all of a sudden, your bounce rate's going to increase. If you're trying to get a ton of new traffic from Google search results or through LinkedIn or things like that, your bounce rate should probably increase. New traffic that's never been there before is going to play with your bounce rate. Now, if you're 80, 90% bounce rate as a whole on your website, something is drastically wrong. We do look at time on site. We look at pages per site and things like that. But just to get finger to the wind, how many sessions are you getting? Like how many people are coming to your website every single month? Are you seeing an increase or decrease? Where are those sessions coming from? What's the bounce rate? So looking at the source of those sessions, breaking it down to the top 5, which is going to be Google organic traffic, direct traffic, paid advertising, referrals, and then looking at the social platforms to see how that traffic's coming in. But then looking at that traffic's coming in, is it staying on the site for long or is it leaving right away? The other things that we pay most attention to is going to be the top landed pages. And I've talked about this on other episodes. The top landed pages means what is the first thing that people see when they come to your site. It is not your homepage. It's some different page. Now, 50% of your traffic could be to the homepage initially, but we want to look at what are the top 10 landed on pages. And then on the flip side of that, we want to look at what are the top 10 most visited pages. So regardless of where they land on the site, regardless how they got from there from the source, whether it was organic or direct or social, regardless of all that, what are people clicking on? Now, there are tools that you could do with heat maps to look at scroll depth, click, hotspots, things like that. Those are cool. We use those too. But just for the basics, you want to see where are people clicking and then look at those pages, the most visited pages. We always look at the top 10. And then you might make strategic adjustments based on that data that you're seeing to those pages to drive people further. So from a web analytics standpoint, Google Analytics is like Microsoft Excel. You could literally probably launch a spaceship with it, right? There's so much computing power behind it. You could do so many things in Microsoft Excel. You could do so many things in Google Analytics, but just looking at the basics, you need to pay attention to those areas and just go straight to the source. If you want to use a third party that's pulling that data into a pretty report, by all means do that, but don't get taken for granted because a lot of times they can't integrate things. We signed up for some, they're like, oh, we don't do G4 tags with Google Analytics new tracking platform. We don't integrate with G4 yet because Google hasn't released it. So you can't see those reports. Well, if I can't see the G4 stuff, then you're pretty much useless to me. So you have to really understand that. The last thing we're going to touch on is going to be the teamwork system, project management system, chat system, things like that. There are, again, so many out there. You can look at the ads of people that, like, everybody uses Slack, right? We don't. I have used it before. Some of our clients do use it. I don't like it. I think that it's having two systems is not great. For a CRM, for a project management system, whether you're organizing all your ideas, your thoughts, tasks, things like that. There are tons out there. We like Teamwork Projects. Teamwork Projects is an Irish-based company. We've been with them for probably 5 years. We were there when they were just getting started and had a good foundation, and they've grown and expanded massively since then. And we use their chat system, which is Teamwork Chat. It's all in one system, and they've got apps for your iPhone, your Android. They've got desktop apps for PCs and Macs. Teamwork Projects is the lifeblood of at least of our company. Everything that we use it for, our clients are in it, our employees are in it. We use it to track and monitor everything. I think that that's the best. I will take the Teamwork Projects chat system up against Slack or any other thing any day of the week. I think their project management system is better than Monday.com or all of the other ones, all the ads that you see. I think that their system is the best, and it's honestly affordable at the end of the day. You're not going to be spending thousands of dollars a month for a system unless you've got tens of thousands of employees in it. But it's a great system, and that's what we use, and that's what we prefer. And I've looked at and used an insane amount. So if you guys got value out of this content, and if you guys feel like there's something worth sharing, I want you guys to share it with your friends, share it with your network. It helps us get the word out. It helps get us engagement. Be sure to follow me on LinkedIn if you're not already following me on LinkedIn. Send me a connection request if you guys have any questions for our new Monday show, which is Q&A with me. You can send those questions to Ask Kyle at mfgtribe.com, and we will be bringing up a couple questions every single week. We'll dive into them and then field any questions on the live, any additional comments that come up. So that's a change to Monday's show. Wednesdays we're going to be here for right now talking about industrial marketing and technical sales. Be sure to go to my YouTube channel. We have over 200 videos right now and more videos coming every single week to that channel. Turn on notifications so you know every single time that we go live, and just keep on commenting and share the love, and we will see you on the next one.